The dynasty before the dynasty. A legend before the legends. Our guest here today etched his name into Union County history in 1982 and 1983. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
My name is James Smith. I'm from Union County, Kentucky.
And I think you have a nickname that Union Countyans call you. Is that correct?
That is correct. My nickname is Jamebo. If you come to Union County and say Jamebo Smith, they'll probably tell you who I am.
That's what our buddy, friend of the channel, Danny Lavelle, when we done his video and we talked back and forth, I don't think he referred to you a single time as James. It was Jamebo, and I'm thinking Jamebo and James are two different people. I'm like, now wait a minute. I'm looking at my notes. I know there's only one Jamebo. Who am I missing? And it's like, no, that's his real name. I was like, oh, okay. I got you. Just making sure. Now, I said the dynasty before the dynasty because, as everybody knows, in Kentucky wrestling, Union County, they have absolutely just owned the state of Kentucky wrestling since about 2007 when they won the team title, and they've just been on a roll. Your Brock Irvins come along. Rest in peace to Bryce Schaefer, the Rainey twins. I mean, we go Trey Blackwell. We go on and on. Trey Seckman. Stephen Little doing big things out there at Little Rock. Two-time All-American already. Just some of the names that we've had on the channel. Talk to some of the legends that are in this generation. But in the late 70s and early 80s, man, Union County had it going on too. So talk to us, man. We got Danny's side of it. We got Joe Bob Rudd's side of it. So how do you get involved in wrestling, man?
Well, it's kind of a long story. As you know, I'm a small guy, like I said, and I had an older brother named Joe Smith. He wrestled, and I had a brother, Clarence Smith, that wrestled, and he's passed away. And like I said, when they were in it, I eventually got into it. And then after I got into it, I had a brother named Speedy Smith. He got into it. And then I started out in the 6th grade in AAU, and I just thought I'd give it a try. And like I said, I got into it. My first year ever wrestling, I won state AAU wrestling. And then, so my 7th grade year, I hadn't planned on going back to it. And my junior high football coach come up to me one day when it was basketball season, because I was going to go out for basketball because all my buddies was going out for basketball. Maybe I would have been a Spud Webb, or I don't know, Yeah. So the high school wrestling coach, Mike Loader Thomas, called the junior high coach. And I don't know how he got word that I was going to try out for basketball, but I think it was maybe that Robert Irvin. You know him very well, I know.
He's a scoundrel, ain't he?
Yeah. So I think maybe he got word back to Loader saying that Jamebo's planning on going out for basketball. So the junior high coach, Sam Greenwell, came up to me and said, Jimbo, Loader Thomas told me not to let you go out for a basketball because you're going to be a wrestler. And in my mind, I'm like, how's he going to tell me that I'm going to be a wrestler when I want to play basketball? Yep. But like I said, it all worked out. And so I went out for wrestling my 7th grade year. And I was on JV because I wrestled behind a guy named Mike Gibson, who's also a state champion. Mm-hmm. And so eventually Mike Gibson couldn't keep his weight down. So then I moved up to the varsity spot. And that's basically how I got started into it.
And before we go any further, there's a lot to unpack, but you mentioned something that before wrestling came along, but really before the 2007 season, of course, Union County had some state champions, 92 Brad Irvin, 94 Greg Woodring, 2000 Monk Trowbridge, and some weak guy named George King. Union County basically was known for Dwayne Casey.
Yes.
Played on the University of Kentucky's 1978 team, Jack Givens, Rick Roby, Kyle Macy, all that. He was on that national championship team, went on to the NBA, coached. I believe he was with the Raptors, I think. most recently.
He started out, I think he started out with the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I'm sorry, correction. Seattle, help me out
Supersonics.
here. Supersonics, yes, there you go.
Yep.
He started out as a assistant coach,
Okay.
and then I think he went to Toronto to the Raptors,
Okay.
and then he came down to the team in Detroit Pistons.
The Pistons.
And
Okay.
and head coach there also, and now I think he's out in the front office there at Detroit.
I got you. So I can see the basketball influence of Dwayne Casey wanting to spark the younger Union County guys, boys out there wanting to play. So I can see that, and that's watching somebody from your hometown be on the biggest basketball team in the United States, Kentucky. There at that age, that's the right age to get somebody into a sport, and I can see that. But I'm glad that wrestling had other plans for you. So let's talk though real quick about Union County's history. As of this filming, this is July 1st, 2025. Union County is currently, and I can only imagine they want to add to the total, but they're in first place for overall team state championships with 16, 1976, 1980, 1982, 2007, 2008, 2011, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2024, and most recently, like I said, as of this filming, 2025, and 82 individual state champions, 81 boys, and one girl, Tanya Bacon. She's currently their only girl state champion. I can only imagine they're going to add to that total too. But you account for two of those individual state championships. You were on the 80 and 82 squad. So I have you competing in the 1978 state tournament as a 7th grader, 98 pounds. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I was in the 98 division because, like I said, Michael Gibson couldn't keep his weight down and he had to bump up, and I got that slot.
I understand that. And also in 1979, as an 8th grader, 98 pounds as well.
Yes, that is correct.
So let's do the math here. 1977, you would have been in. So 1976, you're in 5th grade when Union County wins their first team state championship. Do you remember much about that? Did they have like a parade through town, or did they come like to the schools with the trophy, or how did it go? Do you remember much about that?
No, I don't remember much about it, but I'm pretty sure they did have a big parade and going through town and stuff. Yeah,
I got you, because Tim Urban was on that team, a couple other guys from that Union County name, so it's kind of cool. But man, as a freshman, 1980, 105 pounds, you make it to the state finals. And let's go over the people that you beat, because you ran into some absolute legends. You beat Troy Cole from Connor. Of course, Troy, friend of the channel, went on to be a 2-time state champion, 1983 and 1984. Also 1984 most outstanding wrestler. You win a 9-1 decision. Second round, you beat Sammy Yates from Seneca, 7-2 decision. In the semifinals, you beat a defending state champion, Mike Miracle from Louisville Eastern, 7-5. Of course, Mike, 1979 state champion. And in the finals, you run into Todd King from Fern Creek, and Todd ends up winning with a 5-4 decision on you. You finished that year with a 27-3 record. Of course, Todd would go on to be a 1982 state champion, most outstanding. But a teammate of yours, Robert Irvin, that scoundrel, he got some revenge for you on Todd, because Robert beat Todd in the 1981 finals, beating a 3-2 in overtime. So kind of felt good to see your teammate get a little revenge, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And like I said, with Mike Miracle, that name just alone used to always give me, it put fear in me and stuff. And I remember wrestling him. The first time I beat him was at Louisville Trinity's Christmas tournament. And like I said, I was returning off my 8th grade year. No, was that my 8th grade year? Yes. And I beat him my freshman year in a Christmas tournament. And then, like I said, I went on in the semifinals to beat him to get to the finals. And like I said, his name alone used to always put fear in me. Mike Miracle. It sounds like he was just super dominant. And I never knew that I wrestled Todd Cole because I looked at Todd Cole because he was in the upper weights when I was down in the lower weights when he won his state championships. And I never knew I wrestled him and beat him, because he was tough.
Troy Cole.
Troy Cole, yes, Troy.
Yeah, of course, you had Troy, Todd, and Tom, all brothers. They could have been interchangeable, you know what I mean? But yeah, now I want to talk about real quick the 1980 Union County team because you guys just ran away with the state tournament. You guys won by, you accumulated 182 points. The closest team to you was Danville with 89.5. So you won almost by 100 points. Let's talk about your team members real quick. 98 pounds, Rob Irvin got 3rd place. You at 105 got 2nd place. Mike Duckworth, 119 pounds. Kenny Davis at 126 got 1st. Morris Brown at 132 got 1st. Mark Hines at 138 got 2nd. James Wilson was your 155. Robbie Wedding was your state champion at 167. And then William Buckman got 4th at 185. And then Dennis Lavelle got 5th at heavyweight. So you guys were just top to bottom, just stacked that year.
Yes. And like I said, that 1980 team, I think, was a dominant team. I remember we went over to Indiana to wrestle Mater Dei, and they beat us because they had one more weight class than we did, and we forfeited that weight class. Oh. And that's when I knew that we had something special going on, Yeah.
And Union County, they still go over to that Mater Dei tournament. I think it's around Christmas time. I could be mistaken about that, but I know I see a lot of times people will post on social media that Union County's over there. So that must be a pretty good tournament for you guys to have went all the back in the 80s and still going today.
Yes. Real good tournament.
1981, you're a sophomore, 105 pounds. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but this video is already on the channel. We done Jerry Whalen's review video for this, and that video is on the channel. So I guess we kind of spoiled it there, but you run into Jerry Whalen in the finals from Louisville Eastern. Of course, Jerry, 2-time state champion, 1980 and 81. Jerry ends up, I believe it's a double arm bar.
Chicken wing. He had double chicken
wing. Yeah, double chicken wing. He sets through and gets the fall on you. But you guys would come in 3rd place as a team. North Hardin won that year the team title. Connor was 2nd place with 84.5. And then, of course, you guys come in 3rd with 83. So a really good showing there, man. Been in the finals 2 times. As a junior, I have to imagine you want to win this thing, don't you? You don't want to get 2nd anymore, correct?
Yeah, it's time to win one.
I understand. Now, I think it should be said that your 1982 team, you were without question the best lightweight. You had some guy named Danny Lavelle at 105. He's weak as water, soft as cotton. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And Robert Irvin at 119. He's about the same boat, weak as water, soft as cotton. But that 1982 team, man, let's talk about that. Of course, our buddy Danny, you know I love you. 105-pound state champion. Would go on 1985, be a state champion as well. Of course, you, Rob Irvin, 1981 state champion, of course, wins it at 119. Billy Tarver at 126. Paul Dunford at 132. I believe Clarence Smith, you mentioned your brother at 138. He got third. Neil Wilson at 167 come in second. And Devin Smith at 185 come in second as well. You guys beat out Wagner was the next closest. You guys scored 130.5. Wagner scored 115. So another great showing, man. Another great team, top to bottom. It has to be a good feeling knowing that your practice partners are in the state finals with you, right?
Yes, it's a great feeling. Like I always said, I thought that, in our lower weights, Danny Lavelle, me, and then Robert Irvin pretty much had a 1-2-3 punch, starting out, and like any dual match, it would either we'd be up 6 or 9 points or either 18 points starting out in the matches, because most of the times we won, but there was times that we lost also,
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, as a opposing coach, if you saw Danny, you and Rob there in that lower lineup, you're like, my goodness, how are we gonna score here? What are we doing? You know what I mean? We're gonna have to, hopefully our upper weights come through. But let's talk about your 1982 bracket. Of course, 112 pounds. You start off the state tournament with a 13-0 win over Jeff Baugh of Simon Kenton. You get to the quarters. You win by fall over Doug Jameson of Henry Clay. This is the one I wanted to talk about. You get to the semis and you win a 13-5 decision over Eric Friddle of Woodford County. Of course, Eric is one of our referee buddies. Got to officiate a lot with Eric. Please tell me he was pretty easy to beat.
No, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I remember Eric Friddle pretty well, yes.
Yeah,
he was, of course, a good competitor.
Oh, yeah. Eric, I believe he could still get out there and roll around if he had to. Of course, Eric would go on that year to get third place. You're coming into the state finals with a record of 37-1, and you're wrestling from Connor Stan Martin. Now, had you wrestled Stan before?
Yes. No, I think that's the first time I ever wrestled him. And Stan was one strong dude, man. He was stout, really stout. Yeah.
And I put that in earlier about 1981, about Connor beating you guys by 1.5 team points for second place. We got a lot of friends from Connor, the Cole brothers, Matt Shotwell, Craig Bertelson, Pat Martz. We go, of course, Coach Bedida, much respect for Coach Bedida. But Union County to Connor, Northern Kentucky, is not the easiest trip, especially back in the 80s. So had you even seen how they wrestled before?
No.
Okay, because usually, and I use the word usually, I hate to speak in absolutes, but usually all your Northern Kentucky schools, they have that Ohio influence, a lot of being really good on top with like tilts and turns, pretty good on the bottom about being able to get off the bottom. Was that kind of your style as well, or how was your style?
I was pretty much more of a takedown person, like I said, and I always felt comfortable. If I got that first takedown, usually I feel like I'm going to win that match and stuff. And like I said, I'm not really a tilt guy or anything. Like I said, I usually if I'm on the bottom, I try to get up and kind of wrestle takedown, because like I said,
Yeah.
I started out as an AAU freestyle,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think that was my style. I was better at freestyle than I was folk style.
I understand that. Now, the 19, for those that aren't maybe familiar with technology, um, video recording in the early 80s was not as advanced as what it is today. We always didn't used to have one of these in our pocket. Cameras were like big, huge pieces of lumber you had to carry around, big shoulder mount jobs. The 1982 video, when we got it, it, of course, Danny, our buddy Danny, we've been looking for the complete version for the whole time, because Danny, of course, the match or the video picks up with, and I should go ahead and say it, you guys tied going into overtime. You were 7-7, then you went into overtime. Well, the video
Yeah.
from 1982, it picks up at the beginning of the overtime period. So whoever was filming or whatever, the 98 pound, the 105, and the first part of your match, hopefully it's on video somewhere, but we have the overtime. Now your 1983 video, we have the face off, the full match, and the medal ceremony. But I'm just glad that we have this part of it. You know what I mean? If it looks a little dark, that's just the way that the video is. I promise it lightens up. I think the videographer back then was trying to fade in. So I think we've talked enough about it. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, so you're trying to reach out there, keep him at bay. You shoot in on him, but he's able to stand up. His headgear falls off. And in case you guys don't know, overtime isn't like overtime now. Back then, you wrestled a full match, 3 full periods.
So what is it now?
This is the first part of the first overtime period. All right, so we're back neutral. And right here, you can tell freestyle, you get a nice throw on him.
I think that kind of took me over the edge there.
Yeah. So that's the end of the period. Or no, looks like blood time. So when he takes this blood time here, you go over to your corner. What are they telling you?
Just try to, do the best you can and shoot in on him and try to ride him as much as you can. And he's telling me stay away from throws, because I like to try to throw sometimes. And that guy was, like I said, super strong. And, he was telling me, watch your throwing,
Now, who's that right there with the towel walking off screen? Was that Tim Irvin?
It looked like Tim Irvin, yes.
I thought so. And you can hear everybody on the Union County side calling you Jamebo. Come on, Jamebo.
It sounds like Danny.
May have been. All right, so here's this flip. And you're up 5-0. And you're going to take down, or no, I'm sorry, you're going to take a top here. He gets this reversal on you. You kind of go into panic mode.
Yeah.
I understand.
He just about got all those points back that he gave me.
Yeah. He's got that arm bar there. Looks like he's trying to pull it off your body.
Yeah, like I said, he was one strong guy, man. He really was. Probably the strongest guy I ever wrestled, really.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're out of bounds. I love those singlets you guys are wearing. That's such an old school look, man. I love that. There's somebody in your corner telling you to get one.
One. Get out of there.
Get up, get out. Now he tried that lift in return there, but you were having none of it.
Yeah. Bring back a lot of memories, man.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Union County had like cheerleaders back then for wrestling, didn't they?
Mat maids, that's what we used to call them, mat maids.
Yeah. Mat maids, that's the right term. For some reason, you put your head on the mat there. Were you tired?
My arms are getting real heavy. They're real heavy.
I can believe it. All right, so he tries another lift, and you're able to not come out with any damage from that. And you stand up right there, get your escape.
All right, yeah.
And you're for somebody that their arms are getting heavy, man. You're out there acting like you're fresh. You know what I mean? You're still pushing the pace.
Can't afford to lose. Can't afford to lose.
That's right. Come this far, can't stop now.
Yeah. Like I said, bring back a lot of memories, man. A lot of memories.
And that's the end. You win in overtime by a final score 7-2. Who's the champion right there in the yellow sweater?
That's our assistant coach, Freddie Bird, who is now a father at the Catholic Church.
Okay. And there comes Robert Irvin out on the mat. You give him a slap on the rear end.
Yeah, we had a little shake we used to do, man. We'd give each other a high five and then we'd drop it down. And
that's, I believe, Tim talking to you right there.
That's loaded. That's the head coach, Mike Thomas.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. So watching that overtime period back, man, like you said, brought back a lot of memories. But every time when you see it, does it mentally play out the way you've had it kind of ingrained all these years?
Yeah. Like I said, that guy is, like I said, by far the strongest guy that I have ever wrestled in high school. Yes.
Buddy, I completely understand. Like I said, Robert would go on to win his state championship, his second one. So Danny, yourself, and Robert, man, racked up a lot of team points in a close state tournament, and was able to put Union County on that dynasty map, 76, 80, and 82, way back when. So, like we said at the beginning, you're a two-time state champion, 82 and 83. We have the 83 match. We have the face-off, the match, and medal ceremony. So, I believe we've reached a good ending point for the 1982 match. we will see you guys and girls in 1983.